Welcome to How To. Today we're going to learn how to solve an Inky problem. This is what an Inky puzzle looks like. It's a grid made up of different cells. The cells are in blocks that are marked off by bolder lines. In each block of cells, you'll see a number and a mathematical operation sign. So what that indicates is that these two cells have to contain two numbers that add up to 5. These three cells have to contain three numbers that add up to 10. Now, you only can use the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 because there are 4 cells in each row and 4 cells in each column. You can never repeat a number in any row or column. So I like to start with whatever the weakest point is on the puzzle. It just makes it easier. And I've done this enough to know that this is a weak point because there's only one way to add up to 6 using 3 of these numbers. And that's by using 1 plus 2 plus 3. Now we don't know whether the 1 goes in this box or this box or this box, or the 2. It could go in any of those boxes, or the 3. And I just kind of write them lightly because there's going to be a lot of erasing happening here. But the reason I bother to write it down is because sometimes that gives me a really good visual clue. In this case, I've used 1, 2, and 3 in those 3 boxes, which means this has to be a 4. Because the 4 is not going to show up over there. Now, I know that 4 minus 2 is 2. So that has to be a 2. And you'll notice it doesn't matter what order it goes in. It can be a 2 and a 4 or a 4 and a 2. It doesn't matter. But because I've used the 4 and the 2 here, that means this is either a 1 or a 3. I don't know which one, but it's either a 1 or a 3. And that means this is either a 1 or a 3. Again, I don't know which order. But if it turns out this is a 1, 1 plus 4 is 5. So I just put a 4 right over there in the corresponding position. And if it turns out this is a 3, then that would be a 2 because 3 plus 2 is 5. Down here, likewise, in order to get a 1 by subtracting with a 1, all you can do is 2 minus 1. And in order to get a 1 subtracting with a 3, this could be 3 minus 2 equals 1, or it could be 4 minus 3 equals 1. Either way. Now here's something that has come up that's kind of an interesting thing. If this becomes the 4, that becomes a 2. But if that becomes the 2, that becomes the 4. Either way, the 2 is going to be in one of these positions, which means the 2 can't be here. So I'm going to erase it. So if these two have to be 2 and 4, that means these two have to be 1 and 3. Now, where do I go from here? I would probably look at this weird shaped one. And if I thought about it being a 1 here, that means these two cells have to add up to 9. But there's no way to take any of these numbers and make 9. That tells me this can't be a 1, which means it has to be a 3. And if that's a 3, these two have to add up to 7, so that 3 plus 7 gives you 10. And the only two numbers that add up to 7 are 3 and 4. Well, I can't have another 3 in the same row, so that 3 is going to have to go there, and the 4 has to go there. Now a lot of things have happened. Here's 2, 3, 4. That means that has to be a 1. And because I put a 3 here, this cannot be a 3. So I know this cell has to be a 1. And because I know that in order to get a 5 here by adding, if that's a 1, this has to be a 4. So I've got 1, 4, 3. That means this is going to have to be a 2, and luckily 2 minus 1 does indeed get us a 1. Here's a 3. That means that can't be a 3. So now we know this one's definitely a 1, and this one is definitely a 2. We also know from this column we've got a 1, a 2, and a 4, so this has to be a 3. And we can confirm that 3 minus 2 does get us a 1. Now, I've put a 1 here. That can't be a 1. I've put a 3 here. This can't be a 3. So the only possible value for this cell is a 2. So now we've got 4, 1, 2. The only number left is a 3. We've got 1, 2, 3. This has to be a 4. And then what's missing here, 4 plus 1 equals 5. And we needed the 1 for that column. We needed the 1 for that row. So we have solved our first Inky. I've posted lots of Inkies in a folder on Schoology. But if you feel like you need more, just go to crazydad.com.